Hi everybody, welcome to this iPhone tutorial series. I like to call these first few videos here the Basic and Buttons series. In this first lesson here, we're going to talk about the features of the iPhone that appear at the very top on the front surface and then also the bottom edge. So most of the physical features of your iPhone exist around the perimeter of the device. However, there are a few things on the back and a couple things on the front, and that's where I'd like to start. It might be helpful for you to know that I'm using an iPhone 12 in this video. There could be some variation in some of these physical features depending on what model phone you have, although I think this is pretty consistent, and I'm going to try to draw your attention to the most important things. So as I hold my phone up here, what I first want to demonstrate to you is at the very bottom of your phone, which in my case, there's really just nothing there. It's just screen edge to edge. However, I bring it up because if you're on an older iPhone, maybe an iPhone 6, 7, or an 8, or maybe one of the newer SE models, those devices have a little round button at the base of your phone, and that is a button that's called your home button. The function of that is to wake up your phone, also to close an app. You can tap that home button to close it. And on these newer models, the 10 and up, what you do instead is just that flick, that upward gesture from the bottom, and that accomplishes the same purpose as the home button on the older devices. Up at the top of your device, you'll see a couple things there. You'll see the receiver, which of course is where you press your ear to, and then you can hear the person that you're on the phone with. Right next to the receiver is a camera. That's called your front-facing camera, and of course that implies that there's a back-facing camera, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. There is something else that's also up there in that little notch at the top. It's really hard to see unless you get your phone in just the right lighting, and it's what's called a proximity sensor. It tells your phone how close it is to your face, and that just enables you, while you're on a phone call, to be able to pull the phone down, to look at the screen and interact with it, and then when you put the phone back up to your ear, the touch screen is disabled, and that way you don't accidentally hang up with your earlobe or something like that. Okay, so let me take you down to the bottom edge of your iPhone. So I'm going to rotate my phone down to the bottom edge so you can see the charging port, which is that little oval hole there that's right in the center. So you're already familiar with this. This is of course where you charge your iPhone, but I think it's good for you to know that this port here is called your Lightning port. The reason why that's important is if you ever have to replace your cable, maybe your cat's chewed it up or you've lost it, you go to the store and you're looking for an iPhone charging cable, and it's going to be called Lightning. Now, flanking the Lightning port there, you'll see on both sides a small strip of pinholes. The ones to the right are your external speaker. So that means if you have somebody on speakerphone, or maybe you're listening to music without headphones in, the sound will emerge from that right side. To the left of the charging port, this is your microphone. So while you're on the phone and speaking, the sound goes into those pinholes there so that the other person can hear you. So it's important not to cover those accidentally, or the person on the other end won't be able to hear you. I do want to mention that people often get those pinholes confused, and they think that both of them are external speakers. People would come into the Apple store all the time when I worked there and say, hey, one of my speakers isn't working, and I would say, I'm sorry you wasted a trip into the store, but there's nothing wrong with your iPhone. You have to remember that the iPhone does not provide stereo sound, so all the sound just comes out of that one set on the right of the charging port. Okay, that's it for the features on the front and the bottom side of the iPhone. I'll see you in the next video.